Thank you for calling the Oh No Streamline Mortgage Solutions informational telephone line. For mature adults that would like more information on why you should use Streamline Mortgage Solutions for your next refi, please press 1. If you are a typical Oh No listener and have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about and would like to learn more, please press 2. You have selected option 2. So, you want to learn more about refinancing with Streamline Mortgage Solutions. Let me help you. Repeat after me. Mortgage. Yes, a mortgage is a legal agreement by which a bank or other creditor lends money at interest in exchange for taking title of the debtor's property, with the condition that the conveyance of the title becomes void upon payment of the debt. In short, it's a loan that helps you buy a home at a certain interest rate. Next up, repeat after me. Refinance. That's good. You're getting it. Refinancing is the act of financing again, typically with a new loan at a lower rate of interest, which saves you money. Why would you refinance, you ask? Do you like saving money? Have you been saving money the wrong way? Has switching from Budweiser to Natty Ice not getting as much in the bank as you would like? Well, perhaps you are a homeowner looking to free up some cash. Do you have your eye on that new jet ski? Does little Timmy need braces? Do you still need to fix those holes in your roof left over from Hurricane Charlie? You need to call Streamline Mortgage Solutions. Streamline has been in the business for over 15 years. To get started, go to streamlineflorida.com. Streamline Mortgage Solutions is with you every step of the way, making it simple and giving you the service other companies can't. What's even better is that you can do everything over the phone or online with one of their experienced team members. Check out a testimonial from one of Streamline's latest customers. Refinancing your mortgage is not on the list of things you want to spend a ton of time on. Streamline makes it fast and easy. They explained everything, answered all my questions, and gave me a list of documents to get to them. Once submitted, they kept me updated weekly until my closing. My friends are all getting refis and said it took 3+ months, and they were constantly being asked for more paperwork. Not me. I was asked for everything up front, and the team moved very fast. I closed in less than a month. I would 100% recommend Streamline to everyone looking for a mortgage or a refi. So once again, if you're looking for a mortgage to purchase a home or refinance your current mortgage in the state of Florida, call Streamline at 407-898-4477 or visit streamlineflorida.com. Just make sure to let them know that Oh No Radio Show, Oh No Media, or Oh No Wrestling sent you. Thank you. Goodbye.
Oh my God, what's gonna happen? Oh my God, we have a new champion.
Welcome back to yet another edition of the Oh No Wrestling Podcast. My name is Owen, and I am your Shart Break Kid. Along with me tonight is the modern day Maharaja and Clint Bobsky himself, our friend from Denver, Colorado, our good friend Matthew. And
bringing the charisma, but I ain't bringing the belt this week.
Well,
you know? I like to be one and done, baby. You know, I do that in parts of my life. I slide in, I slide right out.
And yeah, unfortunately you aren't bringing the belt this evening, as we have a new Oh No Wrestling Predictions champion in that of our good friend Duncan, the king of bong style. How's the victory feel, Duncan?
Well, it's a bittersweet victory, I won't lie.
Yeah.
It's we're dedicating this one to a special member of the family.
Oh, absolutely.
So, you know, it's I mean, I won the belt.
And it was only within four matches, man. Like, we didn't have a lot to go off here. Yeah.
Well, I think there was, we could have predicted on the fifth one, but we probably all would have went the same way on that one. And so,
being what particular match you talking about? The Miz Otis thing? Is that what we're? Yeah. I think we all kind of saw that coming. Maybe not that particular night, but saw it coming at some point. It just makes you realize how little planning the WWE does in fact do when you give somebody the briefcase, the Money in the Bank briefcase. You clearly have no idea what the hell you're going to do long term. Otherwise, we wouldn't be in this situation where they feel they have to get it off him so soon, correct?
Well, that, and you're also seeing it with Retribution.
Yep.
The worst
Oh my
fucking,
God.
I mean, they've botched that absolutely 100% completely.
The biggest fuck fest I've ever seen.
And I read an article this morning or something. I couldn't sleep, woke up, and so I was just going through news, and you know, my smart app is typically a bunch of wrestling shit. So I'm going through and haven't fact checked this, but I'm taking it as it's correct, because I don't think a lot of these smarks, on a lot of these wrestling sites.
We're a news authority, so anything that we say, you can take as gospel.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, take it as gospel.
Yeah.
But so going back to the Money in the Briefcase thing, now looking at Randy Orton, Survivor Series 10 years ago, Survivor Series 2010, Randy Orton had the belt, Miz cashed in the briefcase. It's like, so the same thing that people noticed and put up in the group with the rosters being the same after the draft from years ago. Now it's 10 years later, and they're kind of possibly setting up for something that could happen, which was the exact same thing that happened 10 years ago. Not saying it's going to, but if they are, it's kind of like they're just recycling shit at this point.
Well, and I also think that, like, they put the briefcase on Otis because he was hot at the time. Mm-hmm. And I think that they were anticipating that everything was going to kind of go back to normal, and they could get a big pop off of him cashing in front of a live crowd. Now that they see that that's not going to be the way it is, obviously, I think that was why they had to find a way to get the briefcase off of him, which is stupid. And it's sort of the biggest waste of a Money in the Bank win since Damian Sandow?
Sandow would be like the next closest one, I would think. Yeah, absolutely.
Man, he was good. I'm Damian Mizdow.
They could bring that back in a heartbeat, and it would be huge. But I mean, of course they won't. But yeah, I think you're actually giving them a little bit too much credit, Duncan, in my personal opinion, with the fact that they, when you're saying that they're more or less because of the live crowd with Otis being hot. I don't think, if you really look at kind of how things have like progressed, there was no room for an Otis to be competing for a world or universal champion. Especially with the current Roman Reigns situation. I mean, I guess that would have worked, like, is a minor feud.
It would have worked better.
But I can't see Otis ever winning that.
Otis versus Braun Strowman would have been my.
That could have worked. That could have worked. He wouldn't have won,
but like he could have cashed in. They could have had a big hoss fight, had a little bit of back and forth, whatever.
But you certainly weren't going to put him Otis versus Drew. That's not a match, like that's not something that makes a lot of sense.
No.
And it really feels that, I'm going to give him a little bit of credit on this and say that they probably shouldn't have ever put it on Otis, but having Miz now taking it and running with it, he's the right guy. If you were going to take it from Otis and put it on, give it to anyone, I think Miz is the correct decision based upon, I think, his run, a year or two ago, especially, where he never quite, we were all sort of suspecting he was going to get to that main event level again and never really did. This is their opportunity to kind of make nice on some of that. And I can actually see it being a successful Miz cash-in, whether it's on Randy or Drew. I still think that Drew takes it back from Randy and Miz cashes in on Drew, because I think you can extend that feud for quite a while, and it keeps Drew pretty, at the top of the card and looking strong. I somehow don't know if I buy that Randy and Miz is gonna be the thing. I mean, Miz is better as a heel. He's working as a heel right now. Randy Orton clearly a heel, and actually seems like they're gonna do something with the Fiend and Randy Orton post Hell in a Cell. So
that seems more likely. Also, I think as far as I read an article, and granted it's dirt sheets, so take it for what you will, that basically it was just Randy sort of like getting a win since he's been eating losses for the last 6 months.
Yeah.
And then taking 2 losses to, maybe we read the same article, and then taking 2 losses to Drew too. So it's just kind of like, okay, time to give it to him. I mean, it could be leading to something with the Fiend. I mean, but then again, I mean, we have Survivor Series coming up, and they've already announced like 6 fucking matches.
Yeah, at least 4. I know at least 4. I don't know if it's full 6, but
Roman Reigns,
Drew,
Randy Orton.
Randy Orton.
Yeah. We've got
Asuka
and Sasha. We've got New Day versus Street Profits.
Yep.
Bobby Lashley versus Sami Zayn.
Yep, those were the only 4 I heard about.
Team Raw versus Team SmackDown.
Okay.
Yep.
Great. Brand warfare. We care.
Yeah.
We care about brand warfare.
Yeah, and then the women's Team Raw versus Team SmackDown.
Yeah, I like the 5-on-5 elimination matches. Like, those are fun. That's a throwback. Like, it doesn't, and it's just Team Raw versus Team SmackDown because it happens to be Team Raw versus Team SmackDown. They find some other dumb way to split it up otherwise, right?
I wouldn't mind, like, if they hadn't already buried Retribution, you could easily do Retribution Hurt Business. I kind of like it when it's a faction versus faction thing, but I'm not sure that you can bother with that anymore.
No, that's done. You did it last night.
And I would quite frankly, with Survivor Series now, judging on how much of a success it was, I think last year, introducing NXT into the fold with Survivor Series,
and they're not now this year.
Having them not be there in the slightest. I mean, at least one match would make sense for me. Like something there, like even if it's like a triple threat. I heard it suggested that the possible way that would be great for this would be, of course, in the Asuka-Sasha match, introducing Io Shirai or whoever's the women's champion, and especially Io Shirai would work well with the two of them, having a triple threat that kind of like, introduces the NXT into the Survivor Series brand. That, to me, is a smart idea. It's sad that they're not doing anything with NXT at Survivor Series this year.
I've got an idea that they could do. you pretend that there is this hacker. Then you forget about the hacker.
Okay.
And then you have a group of anarchists who are running fucking shit, stomping mud holes in people, blowing up transformers with Molotov cocktails, the most baddest motherfuckers that you ever seen running the show, saying that they don't give a fuck about this company, blah, blah. Then they sign with said company, and they end up being from NXT, and then they end up being, their leader is the hacker that everyone forgot about, and then you bury them.
Oh, yeah, it's a really, really good idea. I mean, and
you know what, Matt? I think that sounds like a license to print money. Like
Yeah,
we should get those
too.
we should get the Young Bucks money guns.
I mean, they didn't. It seems like they didn't even have the chance to sell us some shitty masks, like a Slapjack mask.
Like not even a shitty tortilla mask. Like, come on.
I want to see. I was thinking about this the other day. I was thinking, and obviously we're talking about in relation, especially that Retribution has had 3 matches now, I believe, and the third being on this past week's Hell in the Cell, where it was
4,
Slap,
because there was one last night.
Oh, okay, one last night. I must have missed that. So they're
0 for 4. Jesus Christ.
0 for 4. We had Slapjack and what was it? It was Lashley, right?
Dude, come on.
I've already
that was
forgotten.
Match of the night.
Oh,
Slapjack and Bobby Lashley.
That's what I tuned in
Slapnuts
for.
versus Bobby Lashley.
I mean, that was storytelling from start to finish. I mean, that was the art of wrestling. I mean, how did you not close the show with that?
I have this thing, and
you open and close the show with that,
right? Grand opening, grand closing.
I want your opinion on this because I think it could actually work. That now,
no, I hate it. Sorry, what?
I know you probably actually kind of will, but I
might.
But I want to see like this ironic fan support for Retribution start developing, which is sort of like plays into the Twitter. So now that we all just like really get behind him. Slapjack's the man, like good old T-bars going on a run, like and they still don't have to win. They don't have to change a single thing. But we fuck with the WWE and the whole creative in a sense. We force the fact that no, like that's they need to have all the championships. They need to be the biggest thing in wrestling. I think it could be hilarious if something like that were to happen.
Tell them and basically a big fuck you, be somewhat consistent.
Yes.
Right.
And
also the problem is you know that they listen to us, so you just gave away our strategy.
Fuck, you're right.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Exactly. Well, and that goes back to, I mean, I'm sorry that I jumped in there when you're talking about NXT not being on Survivor Series, but the reason that I brought up Retribution was because you were seeing so many people coming up from NXT. I mean, we've seen Keith Lee. We've seen all these people from Retribution. Who are a couple other ones? I mean, I know that there are other ones.
Talk about Retribution. So Mia Yim has a Retribution name, which I don't know what it is, but she has a separate Twitter account that she tweets as that person.
Oh, yeah. Didn't she tweet that, like, she was possessed and didn't
She was
have
possessed.
A seizure,
it was a possession.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And I'm just like...
She's keeping her options open, is what it sounds like to me.
No, she's doing what she's got to do. I get
it. And good for her.
Yeah.
Good for her. As long as with as much brand and social media controls they have over these people nowadays, good for her for being able to pull that the two different ones.
I think it's a very smart, I think it's a smart idea.
I guess, but I think it sounds smart. I mean, I agree with your point, Duncan. So. But I guess that's what I was saying. There have been a lot of people crossing over. There have been a lot of call ups and things like that. And I mean, at a certain point, when do you either stop that because you're squashing people? I mean, last night, Owen, you gave me a quick call to check in on me, and then you're like, asking me how I'm doing, and you're like, oh, I'm watching fucking.
I was watching Raw.
Yeah, but you said you were watching Keith Lee, and you were like, and he's wrestling Elias, and I was like, oh, so he's gonna job to Elias on Raw, and I was
job
with
Elias.
You're like, and he's job with Elias, and you're like, now he's also wearing a singlet, and it's just, I don't understand. I
Why?
just don't understand. You have good things, you have good characters, and they've been built well. You have fans, and the NXT fans, granted, they're hardcore NXT fans, but a lot of them do watch the WWE main roster. Maybe
Of
not
course
all of
they
them, but they
do.
do. So you can carry that over. You
More
know, and, like, carry
NXT
that over and
fans
build
watch the
those
main
people.
roster than the main roster fans watch NXT. I mean, because they're going to be more.
That's a fair statement.
I would 100% think that.
Yeah, that's a fair
I
statement.
mean, and you've got the likes of Aleister Black that was tailor made for like perfection. Could like in WWE, like on the main roster.
You've got all of these
Lee,
people.
like I mean, we can go. The list is endless. Andrade.
Let's now go even Finn Balor, who then went back and is doing better.
Yep.
And segue king here. Owen, I know you watched Smack 'Em Up. I do want to get your opinion because I know last week I did bring up Smack 'Em Up, the story of Prince Devitt, his last tour in Japan, before going to NXT, before all that sort of stuff happening.
Yeah,
what do you think?
It was interesting because I'm glad he made it when he made it, because it's like I think they explained it's for like a 2-month, like it's 2-3 months, like he knows he's signed the contract, he knows he's going over, but he has to fulfill obligations within New Japan and with his old contract, and it's really interesting to kind of see the, like, I truly think you see like glimpses of it of this emotion that Finn or Prince Devitt at the time, he's kind of unsure if he's making the right decision or not. You see it in his eyes. You see it in his eyes, you hear it in his tone, and there's this he knows it's a good financial move. He knows that it could build him to get him to that like next level maybe that he's always wanted to be. But you can see this like hesitation in some of it, that he's not committed to this being the best idea in the world. Like, he knows that it's like when a band, like a punk band, signs with a major label or what have you. They know he's gonna be able to get his art out to more people, but is that the best for your...
But are you gonna change the message?
Right?
Yeah.
Right. And are the fans gonna blow up at you?
And I think, he's handled himself quite well as a person within WWE and done kind of what the best he probably can do.
I feel like he's done probably the best of any of them.
But so much is missed. That didn't help.
Yeah,
obviously.
like if he hadn't have hurt himself and he'd actually got that push as Universal Champion, I think that Finn would be a megastar on the main roster, and he'd be still like top title contender and like one of those guys. But because it just like he got the shit end of the stick on that one, he like it set him back to where he's now. Not that he's diminished in any capacity, he's just on a different level now. Like, it's not the main roster sort of like never got a chance to get Finn Balor.
Well,
they loved the Demon King.
They pushed the Demon too hard, too fast, too hard, too soon. All that, they pushed it way, way, way too much, and not knowing really, I think that the audience would have probably related a lot better to the Demon had they had the experience with the Devitt side of him or the Balor side of him, right? Like it, and I like that since he's gone back to NXT, he hasn't used it ever. Like right? Since he's gone back, I don't think he's used it at all. He's given it a rest. So when it comes back, and it will, I'm sure it will, but when it comes back, it feels important again. And whether that's main roster, whether that's NXT, they can do it maybe in like 6 months and we'll all be like, holy shit, this is cool again. Because there is something cool about the Demon, I just think it was a little overplayed. Overall, though, the movie, the documentary Smack 'em Up, which again you can find on Amazon. If you've got Amazon Prime, it's free. And Smack 'em Up, the story of Prince Devitt leaving New Japan, coming to NXT, those months in between. I would recommend.
Cool to see the Good Brothers.
Yeah, I would recommend it. I was just about to say that.
Fucking Carl Anderson, hearing Chad, like, when he's talking about the first time he met him, and he's like, he walked by me without his shirt, and, fucking Chad's all about the abs, and he's like, he walked by me, and it's like this dude has like the best fucking abs I've ever seen in my life. And I just give him like a nod, and he just gives me like a, what's up, and just like keeps walking. I'm like, fuck you. He's like, fuck that guy, and he's like, then we went out, started drinking, and even when it's, the last day in the New Japan dojo and they're all sitting around eating, he's tearing up, saying,
seeing some of those behind the scenes stuff too of that New Japan, like how they lived in Japan and how they lived together in this very small, like apartment, like
Prince
deal.
Devitt's paying the dues, doing all the wrestlers' laundry and shit like that. Very humbling. So yeah, would definitely suggest that. I will say you did just say in regards to, I think, the demon. You said too fast, too hard, too soon.
Yeah,
I want that to be the name of my biography. If anyone writes one,
that's a song. Like that's a.
Is it?
God, yeah, like too hard, too fast. Like it's like an
too fast,
song.
too hard.
I'm sure it is.
Too hard, too fast. Oh my god, dude! Because I can hear it in my head now, and I can't. It's like one of those ones. Like, why do I know this dumbass fucking song? Oh,
is it a Kid Rock song?
I don't think it is.
No, it's not, because Owen would know it, and I would cop to it.
Yeah, exactly. Detroit.
And I would know if it was a fucking Kid Rock song, unfortunately.
So let me ask you guys this. I'll throw the ball in your court. Would you rather talk first about a little more about Hell in the Cell, or do we want to talk about AEW Dynamite last week? Because both have plenty to discuss.
I'd say let's get Hell in the Cell out of the way, and then talk about, because we've been talking about WWE, and then we can switch gears. That's just my
I'm in.
What I would want to do.
I think it's a good idea.
My overarching comment is I fucking still hate the red cell. Fucking still hate it. Can't stand it. Don't like it. It makes it hard to fucking see. Like it's
just
stupid.
a red Punjabi prison.
It doesn't make sense that they still continue to do this when I think I don't know. I've literally never heard an opinion of I like the red cell. Like it just feels.
No, we like the blue cage.
100%. Give me that back. I've said that a million times, but yeah.
100%. Like, give me that gimmick match back.
Yeah.
But the cell, just fucking like have it be what it is. Like, I get it. You're being annoying and making it red.
It's always bothered me as well that
was that when they were doing it? Was that because did they paint it red because it was a Raw exclusive pay-per-view one year?
Yeah, probably.
Maybe. We're gonna say that that's what it is.
Yeah, that sounds
Seth
right,
Rollins
though.
and the Fiend when it turned red.
I felt it was the year before that, actually.
That's what, and like I can't remember, I feel like it's been forever since we've seen Hell in the Cell. So,
well, for me too, it was ballsy of them to do 3 Hell in the Cell matches. I'll say that. We'll get to that. Man. We'll get to that in a second. But it's always bothered me that they've changed the cage to almost being like a cell. Granted, it doesn't have a roof, but like bring back steel bar cages. Bring back the, I don't care, make it black, but not have it be the, chain link fence like a cell is. I like the distinction that a cage is a cage and a cell is a cell.
Is a cell.
And making it red just literally puts a new coat of paint on the same shit that we've been doing for however many years now. It didn't freshen it up for me at all. We've dealt with this now for a couple of years. It really just, to me, it cheapens the whole experience. It makes the cell feel less intimidating more intimidating. Like the cell used to be cooler to me than the chamber, and now the chamber feels so much like bigger.
Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, Elimination Chamber. Like,
yeah, that definitely feels bigger. I get that. The red definitely, it's done nothing. It's like I said, it makes it, at least for me, makes it hard to watch. You know?
Yeah.
Like not like, oh shit, I don't want to watch. Just like hard to physically watch.
It's more difficult to focus on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also, you know, in regards to Hell in a Cell, I mean, talking about, I guess, was it last year, Seth Rollins and the Fiend?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
okay, we were all upset.
The worst cell match ever.
Yeah. And, you know, I'm trying to think of really good Hell in a Cell matches. And granted, we came from an era where there were things like Undertaker, Mankind, you know, things happened. Like there were big there were big stunts, and I feel like that's just not there. It's just, you know, the Cell. And like, I think the perfect example was like Jimmy or Roman Reigns and Jey Uso.
Yep.
Like there wasn't really a lot of use for the cage
Cell.
or the Cell.
Well, they could have been.
So there was. It could have just been a regular I Quit match. It didn't have to be in a cell. The first I Quit match in a cell. There was not really a ton of use of the Cell.
Here's what happened. Here's definitely what happened on this one.
I think we're gonna say the same thing.
Probably, but with this one, they made it a cell match. Then they turned it into an I Quit in a cell match. Then they turned it into a strap match. I Quit in a cell match.
It's ridiculous. Also, I don't know that in a Thunderdome situation with the video the way that it is, I don't think you'd be able to fly out the Cell the way you would under normal circumstances in an arena. Because
yeah. I mean, they did have to fly it in and out. They had the match breaks, like they were flying it in and out, but it can only the sight lines for an actual audience, if there was an actual audience in the building, would have been complete trash. Is I think what you're implying, right?
Well, that, and I don't know that they I'm sure they would have taken it out, but how far out was it? Really?
Yeah, they probably can't get it that far out. You know,
so like it would have been very noticeable that the cage was just like at the 8 to 10 foot mark, and they wouldn't have been able to do a real like match safely. So they just kept everything in the cage, because not all of the matches. No, not all of them were in the Cell.
But 3 of them. So Drew, Randy,
close.
and then Sasha, Bayley, which was the best match of the night in my opinion, and the best of the Cell matches. Despite the fact that, you know, I thought that was the match of the night, in my opinion. There's definitely things that, you know, you laugh at, like when she's trying to get the fucking duct tape open, Bayley, and she asks the ref, "Can you help me get this open?" He's like, "No, I can't help you get that open." I love that they got that on the mic. I love when, and during that, she's trying to duct tape these kendo sticks together to make them longer to like, and like she did like the shittiest job I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, don't even use the duct tape. Don't even try and do it. Just set 2 of them across right next to each other. There's no reason for you to actually duct tape them together.
Right.
But I think, you know, they did a great job in that match.
That match was match of the night for me. It really was.
The Roman Uso
but the
match.
Roman Jey Uso match was interesting because of the amount of talking that like this was more of a play than it was a match. And granted, wrestling is theater to a degree, but this was more of a play than it was a standard wrestling match. There was so much like talking and emotion, and like the acting in it was really, really fucking good. I wouldn't call it a 5-star match, but it's in the 4s for damn sure for me. I think as a pure wrestler. No, I think it is.
Fuck that.
You don't think so, huh?
No, the wrestling was not fucking anywhere near.
But I'm not
like so it's.
But I'm not saying that a match. It was as a match, as a presentation of entertainment. This was really, really good. I was excited for it. I thought Jey looked great in defeat. I think that there's a really good story that was being told, and I like the way it ended, and I like the story in there. It was a story match.
I'll give you 5 stars for story. I'll give you 3 stars for match.
That's fair. That's 100%. That's 100%.
I did say to my sister during it, because she was over for a little bit, I said, Roman's acting his ass off right now. And and then it was like, oh, he's cousin of The Rock. And she's like, oh, has he done stuff like, in Hollywood? And I was like, has done some stuff. I was like, but like, he's acting his ass off. Like he did do. So I will give you that. I think the way Duncan said it is like, I would put it at a 4 or 5, maybe 5 for the acting, but like a 3, solid 3 for the rest. There were a couple of good spots that fucking Jay had. Roman had some okay spots, mostly fucking spears. 1 or 2 of them were questionable. Another 1 or 2 looked good. He did have that fucking like what was it? Fucking on the ring apron.
The drive-by thing that he did.
Well, he ran and jumped and did the double kick. He did it, and then he brought like the steel ring steps and put it up. And this is the funniest part. There were just a couple of like little flops that you could see happening, like when he first tried to throw that into the ring and it didn't make it over.
Oh, I love when wrestlers do that from time to time. By the way, sometimes it's with a pair of chairs or some chairs or a set of steps. But they like hit the top rope and then it like bounces back at him.
He had to throw it back in.
Yeah,
I thought that was great. Just those little things I think are funny because, like I said, like Bayley, having to like try and ask for tape to be open and then like doing the shittiest job and like it's just like already half down. Just it was so stupid. And then
you will never make it as a stagehand in my world, Bayley. That is
you're never gonna be able to fix anything.
Jay trying to get the strap around his neck. It took him like 3 or 4 times.
I saw that. And it kept slipping out, or he's trying to do the loop.
I mean, it's not whatever. It's not their fault, but it's funny to watch those things. But
that was a very un-PG match, though. Like, if you think about it, too, like, with all the choking that was going on with Jay and that strap on Roman.
It's just introducing kids to autoerotic asphyxiation earlier. It's fine.
But the same company
Vince was choking himself with the strap while it was happening.
The same company that fired Daniel Bryan for choking a guy with his own tie years back.
First of all, it's the company who had a documentary air on about them and the Chris Benoit scandal, and then like 2 days later, they had a fucking weight bench choking scene at WrestleMania. So like, WWE does not have a very good sense of social awareness.
Oh yeah.
So. Yeah, they're like the choking thing is like, oh God, of course. So, but they're really, really selling Roman hard as a fucking heel until it works.
And I like it. I like it. It's the best run of his career to date, really.
I mean, they have plenty of time to fuck it up. It's only been a month, maybe 2. But
I don't think they will.
They probably
give him a mask, make him a member of Retribution.
That's what I'm saying. Just what I'm saying. I was listening to an old Mick Foley interview on somebody, and he was just like, "Well, when I covered everything up, the more I covered up, the better my fucking push got." So
Vince,
in the end,
I think Vince said something at one point. Like he's like, "Fine, I'll hire him, but put a fucking mask on.
Put a mask on him."
Yeah. I mean, that happens from time to time.
It would happen to me.
What did you ultimately think? I mean, we've obviously touched on it, but Rainey versus Drew, worst. I mean, it was a snooze fest. Why are we going to the top?
It was a
cage?
Sleeper cell, if you can. I mean, it was. There's nothing there. I mean, even them going up on top, like it was boring.
Yeah,
as fuck.
Also, poor Drew Gulak. Like, he couldn't have thrown the 24, like an actual 24/7 schedule, 24/7 title match. You couldn't with on the pre-show. Truth defending with Drew Gulak. He couldn't have thrown it back on Gulak like in an actual match. But hey, whatever.
They should just rename who said belt. It's the R-Truth belt.
It's the R-Truth Championship is 100%
Yeah.
what it is. I do love that his John Cena stick that he's doing right now, like his whole thing that he's basically Black John Cena at the moment. He's using all of his moves. He calls him his childhood hero, and that's the reason for. I love it. I mean, it's truth.
Dude, it's great.
R-Truth is like, I know people hate on R-Truth, but like, I swear to God, anytime I've ever been at a show and that music hits, like,
What's up?
What's up? Every fucking time.
What's up? He just makes people smile. Like, he's just got that infectious charisma that you either do or you don't, and he's not bad in the ring, especially for his age. Like, he still does that crazy like twist move on occasion. Like, it's this like it's like an elbow, is it? Like,
it's like the run spin
elbow thing. Like, that looks fantastic. Like I just thought that, come on, like, this would be a good chance to give Drew Gulak a little bit of a, like, come on, you know?
I mean, Drew Gulak had a hell of a series with Daniel Bryan. Yeah. So, I mean, I think if they wanted to, again, it's just like everybody else. If they wanted to do something with them,
if they just
find
didn't get
something.
If they didn't get bored of them, like, or Vince didn't get bored of them, you would have bigger superstars. Because these people are good wrestlers, they're good performers, and they've proven it in good storylines and in good matches, and then
around the world, if not just in WWE.
Yeah, and if you're looking at just WWE, then Vince just gets fucking bored and is like, I don't like him.
Yep.
Seems like
one day he's like, I fucking like him.
And then
another day he's like, I don't like him. It's like, he's doing a fucking good job. Like, listen to the fans, listen to the fucking other wrestlers, listen to maybe some of the people around you who aren't just blowing you while you fucking choke yourself with a strap to Roman Reigns.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Do you guys know what roster is Gulak on now? Is he SmackDown or is he Raw? I'd have to look it up. But I had an idea with especially with the new developments with Shorty G not being Shorty G anymore on last week's SmackDown, returning to the name of Chad Gable, ditching his old gimmick with a bit of an edge to, you know, Chad Gable. I'm really happy that has happened, by the way, because I don't know many people.
Drew Gulak's on Raw.
Oh, fuck. That would have been so much better if he was on SmackDown, because couldn't you see Drew Gulak and Chad Gable being kind of a new American Alpha together, or a tag team together? I don't know. I feel like that would work really well.
That'd be great if they wanted to start showcasing some teams that weren't the New Day or the Street Profits.
Yes.
And I love both of those teams.
Same here.
I'm not trying to say that, but it's just like, okay, cool. So,
no,
we had I don't know. I feel like the tag team divisions.
What tag team division? You know, you've got, like you said, two teams, and then you've got randos that they throw together from time to time to make up a tag team. Your Ziggler Rudes, your, you know, whatever the hell.
Well, and you had Andrade and Garza.
And that could have worked.
Yeah. And you had the Viking Raiders, Viking
then
Profits,
that dude got
Viking
injured.
Experience, Viking whatever. So yeah, but they don't have many tag teams.
Mm-mm.
So it's kind of like you just keep ping-ponging around these couple, and then you're going to throw a couple of random people together, and they're going to get a push at the title. Like, we all know how this is going to work. Okay, fine. The differences between how tag team wrestling is treated in AEW versus WWE.
Absolutely.
Even NXT versus the main roster.
Yeah, no, that's completely accurate, and it's a great segue actually to move into talking about last week's AEW Dynamite, which featured the what are they calling the tournament exactly? I mean, it's a world number one contender, like it's the number one contender.
The Eliminator tournament.
Yeah, the world Eliminator tournament. Hang on.
Yeah.
I looked it up last week, so it'll be right there. AEW World Title Eliminator Tournament.
Thank you. That's perfect. Yes. Everything's been really cool with it so far. We had one hell of a banger of a match of the night on Dynamite with Rey Fenix and Penta. That was unsurprisingly great, but there, of course, has come out of that.
Now there's a change,
an injury from Rey Fenix, and there were a couple, like, as much as a great of a match it was, there were a couple of spots there you could see that something wasn't quite clicking with Rey. Like, he was maybe a step behind, maybe a little, like, rocked or shook. And
do we know what the injury is?
They have not said, but I'm suspecting a concussion.
It was a head or a neck injury?
Yes,
from what I heard.
And they have all they have said that is he will be back soon. He's fine. He just needs a bit of time. So that to me leads towards concussion as well.
Concussion,
you know, like would make sense.
Right.
Great match. I was happy that Rey won it. It's very unfortunate that he's not moving on to the semifinals.
And I was thinking that too, because like we've seen Penta and Omega before. Matthew and I were there for All In, which was amazing.
Yeah.
But I was really looking forward to Rey Fenix and Omega because I don't think I've ever seen it before.
I know I haven't. It might have happened, but I definitely haven't seen it. And I do agree with the decision though that why not just put Penta into this match?
Yeah, they know they're going to have a good match.
They know they are, and Penta's not winning it. Rey wasn't going to win it. Like in my mind, I mean the clear thing is that this is Kenny. Isn't this tournament?
What do you think about
Kenny's to
the
win?
28-second squash on Sunny Kiss?
Well,
plus, I mean,
welcome
I get
back,
it.
the cleaner.
I mean, you saw the fucking women up there doing the sweeping on it during his entrance, and
it was almost less about that to me than it was the facial expression. After the 1, 2, 3,
it was the whole thing. That's not the Kenny Omega entrance that we're used to. Then he came out and literally was just like, "No, I'm not fucking around. I'm done." You know, like fucking here we go. Like fucking V trigger, one wing angel. That's all it takes. That's all I need to do.
Do you think that it would have been the same match if Joey Janela was in there?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I actually think 100%. I think it was probably the same exact idea that they had, and they just had to quickly replace it, and it was the perfect replacement as well, because of the relationship between Sunny Kiss and Joey Janela.
Absolutely.
I think that makes perfect sense. So yeah, I think that was in the plans the whole time. If not, they made some fucking lemonade, didn't they? Because now we're talking about Kenny in a much different way than we would have 3 weeks ago. Like, this has been building for a while, but now it's finally kind of here, and we can, to me, like, I can believe that he can become the next AEW World Champion. Whereas a few weeks ago, I wouldn't have thought that, you know?
Yeah, because he was being goofy, Kenny.
Correct.
Plus, did you hear during his... When the ring announcer was announcing him, like the whole spiel he gave going through,
once wrestled in North Carolina.
And he once wrestled in North Carolina after going through all his accolades.
Yes,
that was fucking great. He did it all in like one breath too.
Yeah, no, the guy, what's his fucking name?
Justin Roberts.
He actually, Justin Roberts earned his keep that night. but yeah, I mean, I'm glad they're going this direction. In my mind, I mean, who do we have left? So we've got Penta versus Kenny, and then we've got
versus Kenny and
Wardlow.
Wardlow,
yeah. I think there's going to be a
Wardlow
swerve.
had a good showing. Wardlow actually. So I talked shit on Wardlow last week on the podcast, saying he hadn't impressed me, especially as a big So the match opening Dynamite this week, he fucking impressed me. He actually showed like big man strength and fucking good chops and being able to go for a little while. Like, I thought he did a fucking great. That match was actually
great.
That
F10 that he does too is frightening. Yeah. Like that's definitely a frightening finisher.
Yeah. It was good. And fucking, I mean, Jungle Boy put on good, a good show.
And what was funny too, like all our predictions about how we kind of like envisioned this tournament going totally got like wiped out of the
fucking window.
Yeah, out the window.
But I'm glad. I'm glad. That's what. I'm here for.
I'm
here
all
to
about it.
Have my,
I don't want to be right all the time when it comes to wrestling.
Unless it's for the Ono Wrestling Championship.
Well, exactly. But
and soup to nuts, I want it tight as fuck. I want to have every single one of them down.
I will say though too, in this
nothing but perfect scores from here on.
Exactly.
It completely relates to what we're talking about here. I don't necessarily need to have Kenny and Hangman be the finals of this tournament. I think it would be really cool if it was Kenny Wardlow and Wardlow ends up picking up the victory over Hangman, because it is very predictable to have Hangman and Kenny.
I think there needs to be one of them.
I think it then establishes Wardlow as more of a big guy, as more of a threat. Like I said, even just this last match on Dynamite, that one impressed me, and now I'm giving him the thumbs up in my mind that like, oh shit, this guy's actually somebody to watch. Whereas for a while he's just kind of been
kind of like a jobber, a big jobber.
I mean, he can pull some moves. He's okay.
MJF's Virgil.
Exactly. MJF's Virgil. And so now I've seen what he can actually do. So, put him up against Kenny, let him have a go at it. Don't just fucking squash him. Let him have a little bit of a fucking barn burner.
Yeah, give him a 12, 15-minute match. They don't need a 30-minute match, but give him like a decent amount of time to do
give him the 20-minute time limit and let him go 12.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. And then when and if Kenny gets the title, you eventually have Hangman build the storyline and challenge him, because you had them as the tag partners. You had this stuff with the Elite and the Young Bucks, and it might be too quick right now to put them in a match together one-on-one, where I think maybe we want to slow burn.
I want that to be
build that.
That should be
as
a
opposed to just
championship
having
match.
it in a one-off for the title and then trying to do it again, as a rematch for the title. It would be cool to do something else.
It also plants the seeds of Wardlow as a legitimate contender for when he eventually splits from MJF.
Oh, yes. which we kind of, leads us into our next thing. It feels like it's imminent that that's probably going to happen, especially with the Inner Circle developments, Chris Jericho developments, and of course, the most highly talked about segment in pro wrestling in quite a while, Le Dinner Debonair, the steak dinner between MJF and Chris Jericho, where they initially, of course, start trying to dick measuring contest, get the rarer of steaks than the other person. Of course, then goes into the thought of Chris Jericho after. By the way, this is all in Chris Jericho's head. The dance number never happened in kayfabe. If you really watch it, this is all in Jericho's head, because there's a moment there where MJF asks Chris, just imagine it, Chris, if it was the two of us together, what we could do. And then there's the ponder to the camera of Jericho. That's when we get...
And that's when we're in the snow globe.
That's when we get the fucking show tunes.
That's when we get My Shadow and Me. It's a Sinatra song. And the dance number... I'm sure, again...
It's completely ridiculous and amazing. And like...
They fucking did it so well.
Well.
Fuck anyone who hates on that.
Yeah.
And it was ridiculous, and it was ridiculous in all of the best ways ever. And it's anything I ever could have fucking wanted out of that. And those are the types of fucking... Those are the types of segments that I want in certain moments in pro wrestling.
Absolutely. Right. This proves that comedy in wrestling can work. It has its place. comedy and wrestling go hand in hand and have since the beginning.
Forever, dude. Bobby Heenan
It's
was doing
slapstick,
comedy bits.
motherfucker. Like half of it's slapstick, right?
Yeah.
So
And I love, as they're singing, and then they stop halfway through, and MJF's like, "All right, let's take it again." Jericho's like, "What,
from the
top?"
beginning, yeah.
Like he's like, "What?" Like he's gassed,
Yeah.
Like it was like he was gassed. He's like, "From the beginning?" He's like, "No." He's like, "From the chorus," And like then they go back into it, and then at the end, like you're saying, and I will rewatch that as being in Jericho's head, because
It is.
that does make a lot of sense. And then when it comes back to the reality, they put the stakes down. They're both just like
disgusted by them.
they're like, these steaks are fucking not cooked well.
Right.
Velma or whatever. Velma.
Velma.
Yeah. So yeah, the couple of like takeaways that I had was, number one, MJF can sing, like can legitimately sing, and I bet they play on this over time. That like you watch, now that they know that he can sing, they're gonna probably use it more and more. He's talked about this in interviews where he comes from a bit of a theater background in general. So I liked seeing that side of things. But also, yeah, like you said, like Jericho was gassed, like in the first.
Dude, his face was fucking
bright.
purple.
He went full Brock Lobster.
Brock Lesnar,
Yeah.
Brock Lobster.
Yeah, he did.
He was fucking gassed.
And then you could see where they did a cut, and Jericho had like 5 minutes to like sit down, maybe drink a thing of water, and he'd come back, and his whole like facial complexion's completely different. Like he's not bright beet red anymore. It killed me. But it almost added to it for me.
To that comedy.
To the comedy element of it. And I know it wasn't intentional. That was Jericho being old man hungover Chris Jericho. I know for a fact too, they shot that until the very early hours of the morning. I have a friend so it would have been like Wednesday morning before the Dynamite. They got done at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Something ridiculous. Then the whole next day was the editing process. They apparently didn't have the final cut of that until 20 minutes before Dynamite aired. So
I love shit like that.
But sometimes
Jericho
that's where the
was probably
best
sitting there drinking boys fucking while things were getting thrown on the cutting room floor.
Yeah. But you gotta kind of respect it too, because sometimes I believe in art, like if you
That's
have
like South Park taking it up to the fucking last minute of when they're able to drop it off, to actually have it air.
And it's also something that like when you have every bit of time and every like tool under your like tutelage that you can use, sometimes it's better to be stripped down and be under the under the time constraint.
Less is more.
Less is more with the tools that you have, and sometimes creativity will come out of that. Dude, I think that's kind of the situation.
Total under the gun, under the pressure mentality. I did that all through college. I fucking still do it. It's like if I wait long enough, I know I have to get this done. Now I have this one tiny bit of time. And guess what? I am going to do the best fucking job in that amount of time because, one, I've been thinking about it and fucking stressing about it and procrastinating like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
But I have been fucking thinking about it. So in a way, I've kind of been prepping. But now I'm under the gun. So I know that I don't have the time to dick around. So it's got to be fucking right. And also, I think we could all probably guarantee that they started editing it right away.
Oh, one would assume,
There could have been times where they're like, yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good. But they wanted to make it fucking right. So knowing that it was taken up until the line, fucking, I think says a lot about the people who produced it, the people who edited it. Everyone who was involved in that,
and the main producer of this, I just want to mention, was the producer that we all know that that recorded us once upon a time down at good old WWE Access.
She gives good direction, man. She's a good producer. She casts well.
She does.
She knows talent when she sees it. That's all I can say. She knows what to shoot, where to shoot, who to shoot, and
Jess, we love you. Good job.
I done.
We'll move on to this just because I think it fits in. Of course, every week I like to ask on our Facebook. We've got a few, different questions from us this week, but I'll ask just this one because it fits. It's from our buddy Steve Stinson, who asks, how much longer until Moxley comes off that belt? And that is an interesting question. Like, I don't really see it at Full Gear. I don't see that happening. I feel like it's gotta be
Full Gear is when they're gonna have the finals of the tournament, right?
We don't really know any of that. We don't know if that's at Full Gear, do we, or if that's on a Dynamite?
No, I don't think they've announced that. I know that it would be a real ballsy move to put that belt on fucking Kingston.
Oh yeah, Kingston. So let's talk about that for a second. Kingston's fucking promos.
Oh, they're so good,
dude. And him getting in fucking Moxley, dude, fucking killing it. And even when he looks up at the crowd every now and then, fucking talks some shit to him, and you just see it in his fucking eyes. He's like, he is there in
he
that
knows
fucking
it.
Yeah,
yep.
And he is fucking on fire. I mean, I get goosebumps right now thinking about it, but watching those promos at the end of Dynamite and things like that, those have been some of the best fucking promos I've seen in a long time. And there's
it just feels so real. That's the thing about him is he does not fuck around, and it's we've all met that guy, especially if you live in Florida. You've met that Puerto Rican from New York that they have this fire about them, there's trust me, I'm not trying to make a racist joke or anything.
No, we know. We know when you're trying to make a racist joke.
On this one, I'm actually trying to be cool about it.
You're trying to be complimentary, which
I am.
Is hard for you. So we're helping you. We're helping you struggle through it.
Yeah. So. But he does. I've met people like this in real life that have this passion, that have this enthusiasm about something that they are passionate about. When they're passionate about something, they're you feel it from the core of your being, and you feel it coming out of them. That's what Eddie Kingston has. I believe every word he says. I believe it when he feels like Moxley sold out and left him in the fucking indies or whatever back in the day when he went to FCW or the big time, the sports entertainment company. I believe it when he says that. And now having to kind of say, fuck you. You didn't do anything for me. I'm here for me. I'm not the sellout. I'm the real shit.
Right.
And Eddie Kingston can wrestle. Eddie Kingston is not the greatest mat technician of all time. But what Eddie Kingston even does in the ring, it shows you the brute force of those same emotions that he spits out of his mouth come across with every chop, with every kick, with every fist. Those things are, you feel there's a conduciveness to not only him in the ring, but him on the promo, and the two just fit together. And maybe it's a transitional champion for a little while, but Eddie Kingston winning over Moxley kind of works for me because you can take Moxley off TV for a bit, which I think they need to do. Yep. And then you can have an Omega, an Omega Kingston would work. A Hangman Kingston would work if you wanted to go that way.
Kingston Wardlow. And
now we've got a feud that involves our world championship in AEW that doesn't involve a former WWE superstar, which I think is probably a direction they should be going in.
And that's sort of what I'm like, who is the first non-WWE talent to hold the AEW world title?
I'll pop hard if they put it on Kingston. If they really have the balls to do that.
Yeah, I would too. But that's a serious question for both of you. Who do you think is the first non-WWE guy that holds that belt?
Omega.
Yeah, the obvious is Omega.
It is the obvious.
Him or Hangman again, would be the two.
Yeah. I don't know that Hangman's ready yet.
I don't know that Hangman's ready yet either. And my concern, I would pop hard if they did put it on Kingston. My concern is if they don't, what happens with this feud? Or I guess Kenny comes in, cleans Moxley, then you can have them do a feud without the championship. But in his promos, Eddie has been so much holding the belt. He's like, look at the belt, John. Look at this belt. Look at this belt. Look at the fucking belt. You know, I'm going to take this from you. You know, that sort of thing. So they're kind of going hard with that storyline. But then again,
do they trust Eddie
and to do that and then just have Kenny come in and fucking clean him doesn't do a lot. It does the exact same
but
as
just
them
because
bringing
he's the
in
cleaner,
guys.
but just because he's the cleaner doesn't mean that he has to like squash him. I think that he can still have good matches as the cleaner because he had like that in New Japan. That's what he was doing, right?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I guess when I say squash, I mean, he's going to take the belt off. Like,
sure.
I just don't see Eddie Kingston.
Eddie Kingston doesn't
Kenny
exactly
Omega
look like the face
Kenny
of a
Omega
company
comes
either.
For him, and he has just won the belt.
And also, I think the symbolism would be more apropos, if you will, to have Kenny Omega be the one that beats the WWE guy.
I think that's smarter, and I think that if you're going to put a belt on Kingston, it should have been the TNT Championship. Like that makes more sense to me. But
or don't know if it could work. Chris Jericho dressed up as Penta. What if for the match against Kenny, you have Kingston dress up as fucking Penta, fucking beat Kenny, then go after Moxley? It's not going to happen, but
that'd be funny,
in a dream world, that'd be fucking funny.
That would be funny. I don't see it happening, but yeah, I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all.
Oh man, I forgot about Jericho dressing up as Penta. That was good times too.
Yeah.
Also at All In.
Absolutely. We'll do another question from our group here. Rodney Thompson asks, is Bianca Belair the next superstar for 2021?
Should be.
Possibly.
I definitely think, I mean, we all see the potential in Bianca. I think she's fantastic.
Yeah, I've liked Bianca for a while. She's got pretty much.
She's got the charisma.
Package. She's got the package.
She's got the charisma. She's got the fucking wrestling. Yeah, I think 100% she should be fucking pushed as a women's star.
They clearly like her too, because they were doing like all the series of bits with the EST and like, you know, so I think there's a lot of probably backstage support for Bianca Belair.
She makes her own gear.
Oh, does she?
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
More of a full package.
And she makes a lot of Montez's gear too.
That would make sense. Okay. That would make 100% sense as they're married. But
I will say, speaking of her and the women's division in WWE, there was something online I read and I 100% agreed, but watching the Sasha Bayley match from Hell in a Cell, which I think was the best match tonight, you know, not the most amazing women's match, but a really good women's match. But seeing the way WWE books the women's division, I think is better than the way AEW books it.
Oh, and
yeah. They make it makes more.
It's no secret that it's AEW's like Achilles
That's
heel
their
at
Achilles
the
heel.
moment. Yeah, at the moment. Fuck you. Finishing
you
each
act
other's
like that's
sentences.
some new shit.
Some new shit. It just hasn't happened in a while. But yes, it is their Achilles heel, and WWE has had a lot of time. What isn't discussed a lot, really, is that the best women's scene in North America wrestling is Impact's. You know, the Knockouts division is something else. And I like they had a whole thing with Kylie Ray not being able to show up for the match against Deonna Purrazzo.
Why couldn't she show up?
They haven't said that one yet either.
Okay.
They haven't, yeah.
Feel like that one might have been a COVID scare. Like that feels.
They said injury, but like it was almost like a no call, no show. So I feel like that would almost have to be a COVID scare.
It feels like that. But then Sue is it Sue Young? Am I mixing up names now?
No. Sue Young.
Sue Young
By the way, I feel like COVID is a great excuse to get out of anything in your life nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
Like you could just be like, hey, I got notified I may have been in touch with the person.
Oh, birthday parties, baby
like,
showers, any of
to,
that shit that you don't want to do. You just
I can't leave the house for 2 weeks, and then I left the house and I maybe ran into someone again. I can't leave for another 2 weeks.
Literally,
I can't leave for
we live in
weeks.
Florida. It's legit like, if we go outside, we should quarantine for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Another bit of a piece of news here. I guess the Thunderdome and WWE are pretty much at the end of their time being able to be at the Amway Center in Orlando. The NBA
contract ends on the 24th,
and the NBA is coming back.
Survivor Series is on the 22nd. Yeah, NBA is coming back.
I think they're talking about the first game being on the December 22nd. So that the WWE have pretty much said that December 1st they vacate the Amway.
Yeah.
Is what they're looking at.
Yeah, because what I read was the contract was up on the 24th. Survivor Series is on the 22nd. Now the question is, where will they go? Because one, the Thunderdome, it's so much like production and it has so much weight. You need a newer arena that can handle all of the trusts and everything in order to support all of it. You also need it to be an arena that is kind of close to a big hub like Orlando, where people can fly in and out and get to it very easily. And it also has to be
preferentially, if you're Vince McMahon, you want it to be in a pretty red state.
And you also want it to be where you're not going to have a major sports team playing there.
Yeah.
So
I thought about
those are kind of the factors.
The Lakeland Center.
Dude, they could do that's not that can't support the weight. They can't.
Oh, and you should tweet them. Tell them to put it in your fucking yard.
Well, no,
they could do it.
They could fit it there. The thing about the Lakeland Center, right, is like if you modify the rig, do a ground support system instead of having to necessarily like hang everything. You could do a combination of the both.
Right.
Like it is a way to do it. Like I'm just saying, I don't know that they would, but also that's 45 minutes from Orlando and 45 minutes from Tampa.
And I was actually, I thought about Tampa as well. They haven't announced the NHL season yet, but you could easily do it in Tampa's
at the
Amalie Arena.
The St. Pete Times Forum, which was my very first gig, my very first venue on tour.
Which is, well, that's coincidental, but I could see them doing that, like that would make a lot of sense. It would have the specs I would imagine that they would need. There's some talk about Galveston, Texas, was thrown around.
Oh God!
Somewhere in North Carolina.
I've played that arena. Please don't do that. Ooh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. But wouldn't it make more sense though to have it like keep the operation in Florida to some degree? That's why I kind of threw out the Tampa thing, and realistically, the Lakeland thing could work.
I mean, look, there's all sorts of arenas that could support the things that they want to do.
Yeah.
It's just like, man, like, oh, cool. I get to go and spend half the week in like a Carolina. No offense meant to people in the Carolinas, but the Carolinas kind of suck.
The talent is not going to be super thrilled about having to do that,
and
should that
Vince
be the
is
case.
not gonna give a fuck.
No,
is the more unfortunate thing.
No. Is there maybe somewhere in Miami? I was thinking, but
Miami, yeah, you could. There's
Gainesville or something like that.
I know there's an arena in Jacksonville.
Yeah, Oh, dude, what if they did that? Like, if all WWE moves into Jacksonville, that's the real war. That's the real war if they were to do that.
That's some dirty bullshit that I could see them doing.
Yeah, because they did that arena. AEW did that one, right? Fight for the Fallen, and I think Fyter Fest. One of those, I think it was Fight for the Fallen, was at a some civic center in Jacksonville that they were able to pull off a pay-per-view on. What if they did that?
Yeah, I mean,
it might be too small, but
right. But just every major city has a fucking arena for whatever reason.
Oh shit! Sorry. Oop, knock my
right. Like, fucking Hartford, Connecticut has an arena that I've played. Like, and there is not a goddamn thing in Hartford, Connecticut. Like, besides haunted ass hotels that I had to stay in, that's about fucking it. And a lot of broken glass. It was fucking wild. Anyway,
bring it to fucking Denver at the what used to be
not
Center,
the Pepsi Center,
which is literally 2-block walk from my house, so I could just go there all the time. It is now the Balls Center.
The Balls Center.
Balls. It was 4 years ago, like 2 weeks ago, that we were there for a Raw SmackDown doubleheader.
Why is it the Balls?
It was also a year ago. The Ball Corporation.
Like the
Ball
pens
engineering.
Or like what is
Ball Aerospace Engineering?
Okay, all right.
Not a ballpoint pen.
Yeah, they make like aerospace fucking things that shoot in the sky and missiles.
The Ball Center. I like it's the Ball Center too, though. Like,
that's
pretty great.
Ball Center.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it was also like a year ago, fucking today, that I was pissed that I saw the fucking draft.
The draft,
yeah.
Oh god.
Wow, that was a year ago today. That's crazy.
Yeah.
We got a couple more questions, or just one more actually, from the Facebook world. And Coby asks, loving Alexa and the Fiend together, and of course, need to touch on debonair. If you haven't, we already did. So yes, Alexa and the Fiend together seems to be working. They changed her music slightly, which was kind of cool. They gave it like a little bit of a more evil, warbly sounding thing on this.
Plus, she looks hot in that crazy kind of like, oh god,
really? Yeah, she looks crazy.
No,
as if she couldn't have already gotten hotter.
Yeah.
Owen will know that it's just like, oh, that's a lot like my ex-girlfriend.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. She was batshit. Anyway, yes. So,
which Alexa is playing fucking great.
She's doing
great.
She's doing great. The last segment last night, I thought she did well on
Funhouse one, or was that the one?
It was her in the ring. It was the moment of bliss.
That one.
And then Drew came down, and then they split, and then Randy didn't turn around when the Fiend was behind him. He went and attacked Drew in the ring because Randy went up the ramp when like the Fiend's music kind of hit and everything went dark. Lexa was just sitting in the corner on the ropes, like kind of laughing, doing her batshit crazy thing, which was working.
The eyes, the contacts, and all that. I love it.
I love the contacts.
Yeah. I think it's great. I love that they're together. But that segment then, I mean, did anything happen off air once it cut? Because it's like Randy had Drew, or Drew had Randy on the table. I just didn't hear what happened once it got cut.
I read a little bit about this today, and apparently they ran out of time quicker than they thought they were. And on BT Sport in the UK, they saw an extra probably 30, 45 seconds. And it was Drew holding down Randy at the announce desk. And apparently he grabbed a pen from the announce desk and was shoving it into Randy's eye. So the obsession with WWE and eyes continues.
God, who's got the eye fetish?
Yeah, someone does, but apparently, like, there's some people thinking like, oh, this was maybe not PG enough for them to air it or something, but there's the other side of things.
We're gonna do another goddamn eye for an eye match.
Something's happening with that, and like Drew was stabbing, for the viewers in Europe, I guess essentially the show went off air with Drew stabbing Randy in the eye with a pen. So
Well, they should have
make
fucking
of that
pulled
what
a
you will.
Demolition Man and fucking stabbed him and then pulled it out. You guys remember that? From
Oh,
Demolition
dude,
Man?
yes,
dude.
Yeah,
Fuck
that's
yeah.
that's good
I mean,
shit.
that's going to be real life in about 2 years.
Yep,
Yeah.
pretty much. Oh yeah.
But that scene freaked me out as a kid. So
I'll be
maybe
I'll be
someone's
hanging
really
with,
into Demolition Man on WWE Creative.
I'm big into Demolition Man. I've talked about Demolition Man on the Ono radio show for years upon
Yep.
years. I'm gonna be hanging with Dennis Leary down in there with the rats. I'm not gonna be using them 3 seashells. Fuck that. and yeah.
No 3 shells.
no. I'm over it.
Fucking Taco Bell.
The other, I forgot about this. Wasn't the whole story with that one too that they invented the modernized Taco Bell logo for the movie, and then the corporation liked it so much that they changed their whole
I
changed
think
them all
so.
to that logo. Like, there's
Yeah.
something in there that's weird. The other question that Coby asks is, when will Cody go full heel where he needs to be? I don't know. That's
I don't know either. I mean, the hair change didn't last very long.
No.
I thought that would have been a good time to do
His
it.
roots have got to be burning. I need to shave my head, but goddamn, Cody.
yeah. Stop doing that. That's not going to be good
Yeah.
for long term.
I mean, but I just, I don't know when
How-
he does and how it happens for it to be
Yeah.
like a full fucking heel turn, right?
he has to he has to
Right.
turn on Dustin or something, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Like,
Okay. There you go.
Yeah.
That's about the only way to do it. But do you after the
After the
where
match
do you
that we
go
saw?
from that? Yeah, exactly. After the match that we all saw, that
Yeah.
made
In
us all
Vegas
queasy.
at double.
We almost had to get a blood test because
Yeah.
of fucking
yeah,
how much
yeah.
that blood was spurting.
Yeah. I heard that match is actually where COVID started.
I'm pretty sure I got tetanus that night.
You did.
Yeah.
I'm immune, but
But yeah, I mean, they could do that.
And then where's
I
that
just
leave?
don't know
Brandy,
if it-
like, you got to destroy QT Marshall. You got to destroy Dustin. You got to maybe then have Brandy go full heel with you. But why?
Destroy the Nightmare family? Like, why? Where's?
Or-
and I get Cody wants everybody wants Cody to go heel. I think Cody's kind of where he needs to be because he's sort of also pigeonholed himself into not really being able to go full heel while still being the TNT champion and executive vice president. Like, there's got to be, I think, more fracturing of the elite, and that has to shatter more in order for there to be Omega as a heel. And this is the thing, like, how do we have all of the elite split and everybody's a heel?
Everyone's a heel.
Yeah.
That is tough. That is tough.
You can do it, but like, doesn't that just make you a heel version of the elite?
Hangman's gonna be face.
Hangman will be face, but the rest of the elite will all be, I guess, heel, right? Like,
Yeah, they will. They will indeed.
so
No, it's tough. I mean, a Hangman Cody feud could work.
yeah, but where do you go after that? And how do
I
you
don't know.
maintain Cody as a real heel unless he goes authority figure?
I hope they don't, but they probably will at some point. They're holding off on it, but it feels
Yeah.
like they're holding off because they know that fans are going to be pissed off when they eventually do that.
Because they put so much emphasis on the whole, like, well, I'm an EVP, you're an EVP, he's an EVP. Like, they put so much emphasis on that during the first couple months of AEW.
Only person that gets to use that entrance, only person that gets the whole fucking,
Yeah.
the middle entrance and all
Right.
that shit. Like, that feels a pretty, I don't know. That feels pretty kind of EVP-ish or authority figure-ish to me.
Yeah, but the Bucks also get their reigning money, and you know? So, like, they all have their little things that they get.
But the heel's got one tunnel, the face has got another tunnel. Like, when you completely always are putting Cody in that middle.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It
It's
feels,
because, obviously, it's because he owned it. But it's the whole, like, I don't know, booking yourself to be the champion of your own territory thing, right? Like,
No,
how
it is.
long does that really ride?
Yeah, absolutely. We did want to talk about a little bit of Halloween Havoc, even though we're not going to do predictions for it because we feel that Halloween Havoc is like, it's not really a pay-per-view, you know? It's just another edition of NXT, and it's going to be probably a pretty cool one. Like
NXT Especial.
yeah, and it's got, like, you know, I'm glad that Shotzi's going to be able to have like a really cool showing on this. She better come out in the tank. She better, like, you know.
She will run over Robert Stone like 6 times.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
And she's going to host the whole thing, it sounds like. Like, it really is her night. And I think they're gonna be able to build a lot with her with it. There's 4 matches, I guess, already scheduled for it. Io Shirai, Candice LeRae, spin the wheel, make the deal. This might be Candice's chance, you know, to kind of pull.
This
that
is the
off.
night. I will say, that since we're not doing predictions, that my predictions are that this is the night that the wrestlings come home with the gold.
I hear you.
I think Candice and Johnny both win.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
I think that might be right. Damian Priest, Johnny Gargano, like same type of thing.
I think
exactly what you're saying.
Probably
What you would predicted on the last takeover is kind of probably what they're gonna do on this show. I
was just a month early.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you on that one at all, because they've got the spin the wheel, make the deal match as well. Damian Priest, Gargano. Then we got Raquel Gonzalez and Rhea Ripley, and it's just a straight up singles match.
Yep, I think Raquel Gonzalez gets the push in that one.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah,
I thought.
I do.
I
do. Yeah, Big Mama Cool, because I think that Rhea Ripley they've been building that division on her back. Even though Io Shirai is the champion, like Rhea Ripley is
Rhea's
definitely
division in a way, isn't it? Yeah.
So I think
she can take that loss, I guess, is what you're saying,
and elevate Raquel Gonzalez to that sort of next level of being able to, be a viable contender in the women's division, even if it's only for a 1-match program.
And then Loomis and Cameron Grimes in a haunted House of Terror match. To the moon, baby! Let's go to the moon with.
I fucking love him.
Yeah,
I love Cameron Grimes, but it's gonna be Dexter Loomis.
Yeah, it is. Of course, it is. But
he's gonna turn into a fucking werewolf or some weird dumb shit.
He's weird, man. He does. He freaks me out a little bit. Like, he's definitely.
It's because he's got big jacked muscles, but like they're all tattooed out, and they're all blacked out underneath.
I don't know.
Of it.
Something I don't like about him. He's unsettling, is I guess the way I would put him.
He wears that leather apron. I'm just like, you're a reincarnation of H.H. Holmes.
Yeah, there's something going on there. And born 1984. I always got to look up wrestlers' ages.
Fuck off. Is literally my reaction every time there's a wrestler that's younger than me, and I'm just like,
we're at that age now where most of them are getting to be that way. So it's
dude, like when it's just like, and this wrestler is only 23 years old, and I'm just like, I am dead.
Yeah,
like in fucking wrestling years compared to this kid.
It's like, MJF, right? He's like 23, 24.
He is such a prick for being as good as he is
at that age.
Yeah,
and he can sing, and he can
dance.
Got all that charisma. He can sing. He can dance. He can fucking wrestle.
The charisma, man. Sad.
We got to find his kryptonite.
No, he's got one. It's called steroids and back knee. But a couple little pieces of news here. Apparently, Elias has hit #1 on Apple's soundtrack category with his new album, Universal Truth. I'm sure he's
I
pretty
hope
excited
R-Truth
about
makes
that.
a fucking is like featured on
Gets
that.
a
Universal
royalty.
Truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, universal R truth.
Have
It's
you guys
just
listened to
what's
any?
up.
Because I sure as fuck haven't.
Me neither.
I have not. I did enjoy the.
Do you believe how much do you believe that was bought and paid for, and how much do you believe was bought and paid for to get it on the soundtracks listing?
Yeah, which is weird too. Why would it be on soundtracks?
It's on the
What
soundtrack.
the fuck is it a
of
soundtrack for?
Raw?
His life?
Also, the way I heard about that was through a Triple H tweet earlier.
I heard it on Raw last night.
Oh yeah, I Triple
the
H was
announcers
made a
mentioned
big
it.
deal of and then tagging Apple Music in it.
This
and
is the most
everything.
gimmick. God damn it! I hate everything.
With my baby tonight. That's what I need.
That,
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna check it out. You know what? Can't knock it till I try. I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna be fucking walking with Elias all night long, jamming that shit out.
What if
getting
you
no
love
sleep.
it? What if you love it
Oh
and
my
you come
God,
back next
dude.
week and that's our homework. We gotta all listen to the
It's
EP.
gonna be like you and me with Judas, where we're
Yeah.
just like, we
We're-
hate this, we hate this, we hate. We love
Fuck,
this
it's so
song.
good.
God
Yeah.
damn
Alright.
it!
Damn it.
So that's our homework. We all got to
All
listen
right.
to it, which is also probably going to make it #1 on the charts again for a second week in a row.
Suckers. We're contributing to this. We are the problem.
Yeah.
They make us be the problem.
You
This
know-
is what we do for our fans.
Okay, another bit of news. Apparently, WWE has unbanned the buckle bomb, which is
Yeah,
interesting.
didn't
We were
Seth
talking
Rollins pull
about
it?
Great.
Finn and Seth earlier, but apparently they've unbanned that. And then there's one last little bit of news that I wanted to get to, and it's the AAA Marvel crossover. So AAA, Mexican
The
wrestling
Mexican-
promotion,
Yep. The
has
rival of CMLL.
has actually they've struck a deal with Disney and Marvel Studios, like official Marvel Studios. And they're going to be having 4, I guess, I don't know how to put this. Superhero characters
Based on luchadors.
they're lucha,
A new group of wrestlers inspired by Marvel's most
Thank
iconic
you.
superheroes
Thank
and
you.
villains will be introduced
At
in a series of
Triplemania,
family shows
which
that
is
will
like
gather
their
the
big show of the year too. Triplemania
Yeah.
is like the big boy.
Kenny's defending his
Kenny's
title
defending
down
his
there.
title down there on this one.
Yeah, it will be at the next AAA event, Triplemania. What is this? 28.
Yeah, I'll read the
Something-
names. I'll read the
28
names.
in December. Mexico City, when the public will be able to watch them live and appreciate the moves hold. Teaming with Marvel represents the union of two fantastic worlds.
It's crazy though, like Marvel, you would not think of with teaming with AAA, and like
There is a very famous luchador, Blue Demon Jr., who has a
man.
show under in development with the Disney Channel. So
Oh wow, maybe that's
yeah.
where this got started. But there's 4 names that have been revealed. I'll let you guess who these are based on. The first one is Arachno. What do you think, Arachno?
Spider-Man?
Spider-Man is Arachno. Yeah,
Okay.
it's Lucha Spider-Man. Then we've got venenoid. Venom, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Leyenda Americana.
Fucking what's his name? Chris Captain
Chris
America?
Hemsworth, Captain America.
Captain
Chris
America, exactly.
Yeah, because that
And-
means American legend.
And then the last one is Terra Purpura. This was the hardest one.
That was the worst pronunciation.
Terra Purpura.
You're
I don't speak
my-
Spanish. Purpura. Purpura. I don't know.
Papura?
Just roll your tongue enough, and people will understand it.
Yeah, what's it? Which one is that?
That's Thanos, apparently. Like big purple guy, Terror Purple. Like
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
Big Purple. That's...
I mean, look, I like that it's gonna be Spider-Man and Captain America versus Venom and Thanos.
Yeah,
I'm cool.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
I'm wearing a weird Mexican wrestling shirt right now. Like, it's fine. Mexican wrestling is awesome and weird, and none of it makes sense. And so shit like that is perfect. I used to buy cookies at the Mexican gas station high as fuck, specifically because they had little like stickers and pictures of luchadors in them, and like I was a fucking
nice.
Yeah.
I
had a stack of them in my hotel room.
We still need to go to that the restaurant here in town,
Cholo Dogs,
which is it's a downtown Orlando restaurant where their whole theming is luchador wrestling based, and they sell like gourmet hot dogs,
Mexican hot dogs, not gourmet, Mexican hot dogs. Yeah. So like they've got like the cojita on it, and the fucking like
shit looks good, bro. Shit looks good.
Yeah, it looks super pretty good.
We should probably get those guys to sponsor us, or at least have a little chat with them, an interview on our show.
There's
Cholo Dogs, is that what it's called?
Yeah, Cholo Dogs. Follow them on Instagram. You find them on Instagram.
Yeah.
They're up there.
The heavy metal burger joint that Matthew and I went to on All In Weekend now has a Denver location that is not too far away from Matthew either.
Nice.
That place is fucking badass.
Yeah, their burger of the month.
Burgers are no fucking joke, man.
Has been the Guar burger.
Oh, do they have an anvil burger? Do they have
all of their burgers? They're all metal based. Like everything in there is named off of metal base.
The Motley Blue crew, like stuff like that.
But no, like every month they do a different burger, and like they have the Metallica burger and stuff like they're legit. Like they're no joke. It's like man.
Like a Johnny's down here or something.
It's if Johnny's and Oblivion had a baby.
I like it.
That's what it would be.
I like
for Orlando people.
I got one last thing that I wanted to ask you guys before we get out of here for the evening, as it's getting up there in time and on the show. But I wanted to ask you, and I've been curious about this and how it would go, and whether or not, like, it seems, in the last couple of weeks, it seems like it's come out that his career in the ring is most certainly not over, according to him. But who would you have Samoa Joe come back and face when he steps away, hopefully, from the commentary and back into the ring? What sort of program do you put him in? What sort of position? And why do I want to see Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe in the tribal goddamn, like, supremacy battle? Like, his...
I could see that, but I think that would be detrimental to Samoa Joe
because they're not going to let him win.
Because he's not part of that dynasty.
I want to see him and KO.
KO is very good.
Yeah.
I think Daniel Bryan.
That's also a really good shout.
Reignite that feud that they had back in Ring of Honor.
They were hinting at the Seth Rollins thing a while back too.
They were,
so
and I
could
also like that.
I could see that happening and that working.
Joe could there's so
Joe
many
could work heel or face any right now. I mean,
he could do any of it. Bottom line is he's going to get injured again.
Nah, you're probably
I hate to say it. Every
right.
time he comes back, he gets fucking injured.
It's true.
It sucks. He's a good wrestler. I'm glad that he's a fucking great commentator because I'm glad that
he's got a job.
He's got a job, but he's a great fucking wrestler. I just wish he wouldn't come back and get fucking hurt because he's a great fucking wrestler.
Yeah. Him and Drew would work. Him and Randy would work. Him and Miz would work. Him and the list, it really is kind of endless.
They almost pulled the fucking trigger on Samoa Joe push a couple of years ago too, and they just kind of dialed it back. They're just like, nah, we didn't really want. It's like, motherfucker, how are you gonna push the same 4 people all the time?
I then had the idea. Well, what if he could still continue doing the commentating gig on He's on Raw, right?
He's on Raw.
Yeah, sorry, it all gets mixed.
On SmackDown.
It all gets mixed up. No. He goes back to NXT, and then you can do a homecoming of Samoa Joe. You could relive the Finn stuff. You could have him and Cole. You could do a million cool things with him with that, and he's doing the commentary, but also like on Wednesdays he does, the wrestling.
At a certain point, what are you saying about the main roster that your top guys who are good enough to get pulled off have to go back down because you don't know what the fuck to do with them?
Yeah,
but they can be great again.
But we're all smart. But we're all smart enough. Like that would have been a huge deal.
We are smart enough.
I think the majority of wrestling fans understand that, hey, this is a better place for somebody like Fandango. This is a better place for Finn Balor. If they were to take that step back, I think you can absolutely do it without being detrimental to the character or the performer. I think that this is something that
I'm saying detrimental to the brand. I'm saying detrimental to the fucking main roster, detrimental to Raw, detrimental to SmackDown. You're proving that you don't know what the fuck to do with amazing talent.
Okay,
and that you have to send them down to a smaller fucking thing so that they can, because they know how to fucking handle them.
That is the better question.
NXT is the better fucking brand.
That is the better question,
which is what we've been saying.
Yeah,
we've been saying that out of the WWE brands, NXT has been smoking them for fucking years.
Yeah, they'll let them wrestle. They'll let them do the characters. They'll push them the way they need to. They'll they'll fucking have the storylines and the matches they need to. And that's what I'm saying. It's not the wrestlers. It's the detriment to the brand. And granted, I agree with what you're saying, Owen. Like, majority of people maybe don't fucking care. They just watch Raw or SmackDown.
Well, we understand what kayfabe is. Like, at this point, like it's not that important. Like that you have, this star on Raw or what have you. Like the NXT is like, it's not seen as a step down. Like it can work. I don't know. I think that people are smart enough to kind of deal with that.
I mean, I guess it
people
just
are smart
depends.
enough, but it still doesn't bode well for your fucking main shows when you have top guys who are fucking going down. I mean, eventually fucking that leads to if it is what's best for business, then what's best for business is fucking selling ads and keeping people on and keeping fucking fans not moving to fucking NXT on a different night, keeping them on the fucking prime nights that you've had for fucking 27, 28, 29 years, fucking longest running fucking live TV show in fucking goddamn history.
Yeah.
That is where the fucking money is, and that's the fucking bottom line because I fucking said so.
Goddamn. Wow. Damn. Fucking not even the champion. He's still clapping around with these fucking on his high horse.
I had to. I was fucking on a roll, and as I started saying bottom line, I was like, I gotta fucking end it.
Yeah, you gotta do it right. You gotta do it. What about Joe? I just had this thought pop in my head. What about Joe and Big E? Like that feels like it would work.
I'm for that.
I could see that happening, but
Joe and that mosquito Duncan just killed.
Joe.
Yeah, it may have been a spider. I'm not sure, but it was like right here, just outside of camera view. And I'm just like,
oh, look at that thing.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I could be for that. I'm still really hoping they don't fuck this up for Big E. I don't think Big E is the one to fuck it up.
Right.
I think Creative is the one who could do that, which
they will get gun shy about Big E is my worry. Like
unless they do the Rumble,
they've separated, Kofi and Xavier, and so it's like you don't have that necessarily just to run back to right away.
Yeah.
The ties are still there, which I think is okay.
Yep.
I just think that God, yeah. Are they going to get gun shy? That's the best way of saying it. Like, they're not going to pull that trigger. Like, they have it. He has the ability. He can be.
I'm worried that they're going to.
I don't want him to be. I don't want Big E to fucking one day be sitting around being like, I could have been a contender. Like, he is a fucking contender. I worry that
they're going to push him all the way up until the fucking goal line, and then they're just going to stop him right there. And he's never going to quite.
I have that fear as well, and
if they do that, it's just such a waste. And he's been such a good talent. Like, he was a fucking NXT champion. Like, dude, Dusty had him bring the 5 count back because he's so he was dominating people like that. Like, bring that shit back.
Yeah.
I know that Big E is like a jovial guy, but that doesn't mean that you can't be a badass in the ring.
Absolutely. Is there anything else you guys want to hit before we get out of here? We're about at that time. I'm good. If you guys are good, I
will say, Duncan said at the top of the show, but the show is dedicated to the biggest little man in the history of the fucking world. Little Kyoki, if you've watched the shows live or watched them on YouTube, you've seen him at the end. He's been the mascot.
Yeah, he's ruined my predictions
tear up
before.
saying it, but
yeah.
Little man lived a long, hard life. He was the best fucking greatest little warrior that there was, and he lived 14 and a half years. Mascot has gone to sleep and has taken a long nap for a little while, and he was the best good brother. We all fucking knew him, and hearts go out to him. Love that guy.
Absolutely.
And we love you.
Yep.
For being there and making sure that he went out with the team on his back. So
absolutely.
So yeah.
Rest in peace, Kyoki. You poor little chihuahua, you lovely little thing. You kind of hated me, but I still loved you just the same. And that being said, there's one other thing I'd like to promote, and it's Thunder Championship Wrestling, which is returning to Tanner's Lakeside with former superstar Gangrel. Guys, if you're into the wrestlings and you live down near Winter Haven, you check out some Thunder Championship Wrestling October 30th. That's Friday night. Doors are at 7, bell time's 8. You can go online and just look up Thunder Championship Wrestling. You'll find all the information. Tickets are $10, ringside for $15. It looks like it's going to be a really cool show, and you're going to get to see some Gangrel. Other than that, check out Streamline Mortgage Solutions if you're looking to buy a new home or if you're looking to refinance the mortgage that you already have. Please check out StreamlineFlorida.com. On top of that, ONWWrestling.com, ONWRadioshow.com, and the In The Process website that's being built, ONWmedia.com, where you can find all of our wonderful products and services. Oh, don't forget about these two do a show every once in a while. It's called Nobody Cares Go Harder. Again, .com. Check that out. Find us on Facebook, ONW Wrestling, ONW Radio Show, Nobody Cares Go Harder. Other than that, what do we say when we get out of here, boys? Woo!
Ha ha ha.